Okay, in this Google Ads training, we're going to go through an account audit we did recently and going to show you how they had it set up. These are some of the big mistakes we see when people do Google search ads, just the wrong setting, the wrong tracking, wrong keywords, wrong targeting, pretty much just everything was set up from the beginning and then optimized incorrectly. So we're going to show you some of the biggest mistakes people make with Google search campaigns, especially when running lead generation. And then we're going to show you the right way to set it up, how you should have tracking set up, how you should switch everything over so it's set up for success. So we'll go ahead and show you a real example here inside this Google Ads audit we recently did. Okay, so we're looking at the setup. This is from a previous agency. Just right off the bat, these icons, this is for search. These other ones are the automated ones. It's a smart campaign. It's a search with display at the same time. Those are just honestly terrible options. Do not use them. We'll go ahead and show you this client. They do custom homes, actually. It's a home service, and they do a little bit of remodeling, but the main focus is custom homes. So the problem with these automated campaigns, you can see here, it looks kind of weird. This isn't the normal setup you get. You just put in some keywords, target your location, throw in an ad, and that's kind of it. It's more so for beginners. If you're not going to actively manage it or you've never run a campaign before, you can set this up for small local things, and I don't know. It's just not a good option. I don't know why it's here. It doesn't have a lot of options. You can't customize that much. When you do a real setup, you get a lot more options. You could probably see this if you're an advanced user. You get all the different options in here. You can build out keywords. You could see negative keywords. You can adjust your ads. You can A/B test. There's 100 other options that just aren't in this campaign. Just don't use it at all. The other thing, it's tracking conversions incorrectly. We'll show you that in a minute. So another issue here, red flag, is just the ad group 1. It looks like this agency just set it up so quickly they didn't have time to name anything. Target CPA, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but with target CPA, immediately when you launch, Google doesn't know what your cost per acquisition is going to be. So to immediately put a restriction on it, it's going to be difficult. If you are going to do automation, you typically start with just maximize conversions, or more commonly, we recommend doing manual CPC. Change that setting because you have no data at all. It's better to get a lot of clicks, control the cost per click, control your lead quality, and let it build up a little bit before switching to automation, because Google's documentation even tells you it needs a high amount of conversions to optimize for conversions, or target cost per conversion. Otherwise, it doesn't have any data to work with yet. So there's two main issues with this. At first glance, it looks like it's hitting the conversion numbers. It's getting a ton of conversions. But if you go into segment, conversions, conversion action, it will tell you what they're calling a conversion. So they have, if someone went to the About Us page, that's it. That counts as a conversion. If someone calls the number on the ad, that one's actually good. And if someone goes to the Contact Us page, that's a conversion. Both of these are not good options for lead generation. Someone simply going to the About Us page is not a lead. Someone going to the Contact page, not filling out a form or calling, just arriving to the Contact page, that's not a lead. So these are fake numbers. A lot of agencies set it up this way. It's a lot of fluff. I mean, it doesn't last. If a client's not getting phone calls, they know the phone's not ringing. I mean, you could technically set up a conversion as whatever you want. I mean, if someone went to the home page, you can set that up as a conversion. So that's the biggest thing. When you're setting up conversions, you have to set it up for the right thing. So calls from ads, this is the only real number they have. I mean, 2 people called. That's an actual lead. So if you look at it, they spent almost $1,500 and received 2 leads. So you're roughly $750 per lead, not $23 per lead. So if to a trained expert, you can see through a lot of this nonsense that it didn't get 63 leads, it got 2 leads because the lead tracking was set up incorrectly. So that's a major flaw right off the bat. But if you look at also what's in here, it's only broad match. Most of the time you're not going to use broad match. It's just too broad. It matches to everything and anything. Some experts can do it. If you're in the account multiple times per day, you have a lot of negative keywords. Maybe you're testing it with automation. It's very experimental. For most people, you'll do phrase match or exact match. And the reason is when you go into search terms, you can see it matches to a lot of random things. You've got modular homes. That's not really the type of thing. Container homes, that's kind of a trend. Floor plans for homes is not the same as home building or home builder. Just homes, that's a strange one. Maybe that's someone looking to buy a house. I don't really know what that means. Portable cabins for sale. You can see broad match. Barn houses price. Broad match matches for a lot of random things that have nothing to do with your actual word. I mean, some of them will match. Most of them, broad match just isn't a good idea. So you've got broad match with automated bidding with incorrect tracking. So this was already set up to fail. It's not going to work at all. The other thing, you've got a mix. This client, remember, they're a custom home builder. That's their main thing. And you've got house contractors, remodeling. If you want to do two services at the same time, they should be in different campaigns. At the very least, two different ad groups. You've got remodeling and home renovation and a custom home. These are completely different things. There's remodeling, there's renovation and changing up certain parts, or there's building a custom home from scratch for several $1 million probably. So these are completely different things. Even if the client was running all these at the same time, different campaigns, different ad groups, this is just a mess. And the settings, this is showing in the display network too, which, I mean, if you see that icon, that's a red flag. It's a beginner mistake. You never show on display and search at the same time. Banner ads and search ads are completely different. We'll jump over to the ads real quick. You'll see kind of the same thing going on. But we have different training on responsive ads. I mean, we don't recommend filling it here. This is just too many headlines to rotate through. It'll never get through all of them. Really just do 3 and use the pin feature, at least in position 1, so your first headline makes sense, because otherwise it's going to rotate these through, and it could say North Georgia's experts, custom floor plans, contact for free estimate. So it's making it seem like they're selling custom floor plans, which they're not. They're a custom home builder. They don't really sell the plans by themselves. Or home contractors, that, again, separate ad group, if they even want those types of leads at all. This is just a huge mess. Same things with these. They really didn't do their research for the client. They didn't put in the right things. I mean, you could do 2 descriptions and pin them. Or if you're going to do all 4 of them, at least make sure that they make sense independently, because Google's going to rotate through all these. So, I mean, ad strength isn't the number one thing you're going for. You're going for conversions and leads. It has to be profitable, or it's just wasting money. Jumping back to here, the video campaign, not a huge fan of that for lead generation. I mean, search, people just searching custom home builders near me, it's just a perfect lead. Stick to search. They're typing in exactly what they want. YouTube's kind of all over the place. I mean, it can work, but it's not easy to get in front of somebody that's researching people to build them a custom home. Whereas on google.com, they're going to type, they need a custom home builder right now, and they're going to hire one. So search most of the time for lead generation is going to be a lot better than YouTube. That's it's something much further down the road, maybe remarketing, or just not do it at all. So when we switched it using our methods for our Google search campaigns for lead generation, for home services or software or whatever you're doing, when we switched it over, we focused, this is a smaller budget, so we focused on exactly what they are, custom home builders and luxury home builders. So by focusing on the right keywords and switching to phrase match, you can see we just got custom home builders near me, Gainesville, best custom home builders. You get a lot cheaper cost per lead, and these leads were much better. When they first launched, after 1 month, they had much higher quality leads, and one of those leads turned into a $1.5 million custom home for their company, which is huge because custom homes are their biggest client. That's what they want. They don't want all the renovations and small remodeling jobs. They want these big leads and these much bigger clients. So in 1 month, I mean, they've paid for their PPC ads for a very long time. This is just focusing, we're not using broad match, we're not using random things. These are very specific keywords on exactly what they are, with the geo-targeting in there, with, it's actually started as manual bidding because we didn't have a lot of conversion data to start with. So we just started with a low CPC and we want to just build up the volume there. So we got a lot cheaper cost per click, higher click-through rate, CPC was still low, just much better numbers by setting it up right from the beginning. I'll also just expand this here. When you do the segment, conversion actions, you can see these are for form submit. We also have call tracking set up in case somebody clicks on the ad and then goes to the website. We have that third-party call tracking in there as well. So whether it's a form, they call the number on the Google ad, or they call number on the website, we're tracking actual leads. We're not tracking the About Us page, we're not tracking the Contact Us page, actual leads submitted or phone calls to make sure that the lead generation campaign on Google is set up correctly for ROI. So even with a smaller budget and a small amount of time, if you've set it up correctly and you have the right keywords, the right ads, and you follow our program to set it up for ROI, not just getting a bunch of clicks and blasting it out everywhere on broad match and all these automation features that don't work, you can get a much better ROI because you have it set up targeting the right demographic, and in this case it's lead generation, but it'd be the same for any industry, whether you're in home services or software or e-commerce. When the targeting is correct and you have the right keywords and the right ads, everything lines up and it's much better for ROI because you're not focusing on clicks and things like that. So just wanted to show you a real example on one of the accounts we audited recently and the massive difference it can make even with a small budget, switching over to doing it the correct way, how big of a difference that can make for a campaign. So we have a lot more training down in the link below, our training programs. You can click on that and get a discount now. We just did a small snapshot of a lot of different things we teach, but that's in the description below if you want to learn a lot more amazing strategies like this. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching our PPC ads training video. If you want more videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Like this video if you found it useful, and any questions, post them in the comments down below. We also have additional training in the description. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.